There's city view, city view, city view. There, now see those white rocks that are on the side? There's what they look like in real life. This is my turnaround point because, as you can see, it's. I mean, I'm right on the breccia, or it's right there. But see, it's under rubble, so it's not a good exposure of it. There's no reason to continue on and risk my life. See the jet? So it's not a good spot. I'm going to work down this. I'm filming this at the furthest extent of my travel. My hike up to the asteroid breccia was kind of a bust, but I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I had to go up there and see if that was accessible in case there were like beautiful exposures of it, which there isn't. It's too steep, too rough. Also, it's everything is loose, a lot of scree, a lot of rubble, a lot of boulders. Everything you put your hand on, to tug a little, see if it's going to come loose. Everything is loose. Everything you step on, you slide. It's too much rubble and it is too dangerous. I had a couple close calls of falling, and but I accomplished my purpose. It's too bad that it wasn't a good exposure of the asteroid breccia, but it just wasn't. And also, a good part of the equation, I took multiple videos saying it, is that for the breccia, it has to be a freshly cleaned area, geologically speaking. It, if it's just rubble of limestone that's been sitting there for 10 million years, that you can't see the breccia that good, but in a wash or something that's been uplifted or next to a fault, it's got to be relatively recent in geologic times, within a half a million years, something like that. Otherwise, you can't get to it. You can't see it very well, as you'll see in some of the videos. You'll see what I'm talking about. Main video that I'll do is the one where I said this is the limit. This is where I'm turning around. It's not worth it to go further. There's no sense in it because it's too rough and rugged and there's nothing there. Okay, so here's was the goal and where I went. See this light blue line and see this white band that goes across there. That's the the asteroid breccia. So that was the goal. This blue line is breccia that is accessible. I didn't draw in the stuff over here that's not really accessible. And so my goal was to go up here. It was much harder than what I thought. I knew that it would be more rugged than Google Earth shows. Okay, I know that. But it was much worse than I thought, much more dangerous than I thought. And so this kind of darker blue line, that's my actual GPS up and down. So see, there's me walking in on the left and then up, and then this here, me coming down. so so let's look at this. So I went up to the rocks, those mysterious rocks where somebody placed probably 2 tons of boulders up there to try to spell something out. And so I was so close to it going up. This line here is me going up. Over here is me coming down. But me going up, I was so close to it. I go, well, I'm in this deep. I'm going to go to it and document what it is. Okay, so that's this area of rocks. I don't know why this shows it like this. That is not what it looks like at all. This area of rocks here, those are just lying separate. This is actually the area. So let's zoom in and see, does that say something? Does anybody know? Is this supposed to say something? But they were placed at great effort. The rocks are not just laying around and put there. No, they took those rocks there. Okay, so I went across here and up here, and then I knew I was in trouble. I know, okay, this isn't working. This is taking too long, and it's much more rougher and more dangerous than what I thought. And so I cut across, uh, and I climbed up here. Like it doesn't show it, but I have trouble getting across here, and I climb up here and made it across, and I went across here, and then I realized I was off of the path of my breccia, that I should be more back this way. So I went back this way and came up. You just you just got to trust me. It's steeper and more dangerous than what you think by looking at this. This is the best way to say it. Okay, so I go up and I'm going, oh my God, what will I do? There's no going back down. How will I get back down? And so I come up and I have to go over here to see. I go, my only hope now is not to fall to my death here, but my only hope now is I've got to get up here to where I can see over to see what's there, you know. And so I come up here and then I get in view of over here, and I look over here and I make it across here, white knuckling it, near death at every moment. And I go, I made a recording like here. I go, even if it kills me, I'll tell you one thing, I'm not going back down that way. No way. I had made that decision that I'm not going back down. As soon as I left it, I go, okay, I'm violating my rule. I'm I'm going along and I'm thinking you've got to be able to go back the same way in case it gets too tough. You got to be able to go back the same way because it's an unknown route that I hadn't been there before. Well, by the time I got in here, in other words, right after I started up this bad stuff right here, I already made the decision. There's no way I'll die first. I'll die trying, but I can't go backwards down this way. I'd be killed in here for sure, you know. So I kept going. I go, the only choice now is keep going up. So I go up and you know, make it up here, cheating death, especially in here. It's worse than you think. If you were there, it's worse than what you are looking at on Google Earth. You just have to trust me. So I make it across here and I get down to here and I go, well, I'm still alive. I made a couple recordings. I had to do like Kenny Beach and say I blew out my knee. Come up and get me in a helicopter. Like, well, that's what he did. I blew out my knee. Come and get me in a helicopter. And they actually did it. So anyway, I I get across there and work across. Now, by the time I get here, I was deeply committed that I'm not going back that way. And so if it kills me, I know I look over here and I go, I'd rather die in a ravine going going down this way than to fall to my death from these precipices up here, you know, where you can't reach out. You're on the top of a precipice, so there's nothing. It's just open air. And so I was doing like a spider walk or a crab walk all the way from down below, all the way across here. Down here, I look at that ravine. I go, boy, that ravine down there looks awfully inviting, where I can go left and right, struggle down boulders, and hold on to things left-handed and right-handed. Well, so that's my path. That's my actual GPS path. So I went down the ravine because I'd made the decision I'll die. I'm going to freestyle down here and find a way down. So by the time I got like down in here, I started seeing established areas where humans had been, and I knew I would survive. I knew then I would survive, and I wouldn't have to call 911. I blew out my knee, send a chopper, send J. Chuck Vlogs to come and rescue me. So then by the time I got down here, I knew, okay, I survived, I made it, and then I go down and go down. By the time I get down here, now I'm down where I recognize, and I worked my way back to the van. But up in here, boy, it was nip and tuck or whatever you want to call it. So when I filmed the video, I reached my furthest extent that I'm going to go back. That's right there. It's right here at that little pointy thing there. I held on and balanced, and that's what I was doing, balancing against the hill. And I pointed the camera up at this stuff, and I go, well, this is as far as I'm going to go, uh, because I could clearly see that it's too rugged. First of all, almost getting killed, and I didn't intend to do that. So I'm going to turn back because it's not practical to go up in all this when I can clearly see up where I'm going. I knew where I was going up here to make it up there. That first of all, I'll probably die before I get there. And second of all, when I do get there, it's under all this rubble and you can't see anything. You can't see anything. So this blue line was actually the goal, but no, way worse than I knew it would be. I told people it's going to be more steep or more dangerous by far, but it was way worse than what I thought. Way worse. So there's you to get from here to here, you could do it to prove a point, but I would go up. See the way I come down? I'd go back up this way, get to here, and then just be prepared to do a crab walk with bloody knees and hands and make your way up here and then to inspect your breccia, which you're not going to be able to do because it's all rubble and stuff. Uh, so the bottom line for the breccia, you have to be a freshly cleaned area like this. See these washes in here? See how it's white? That's because it's freshly in geologic times exposed, freshly cut. So you'd see it in here and here, but in here, no, it's just scree and just rubble. And if you made it to here, you're not going to make it back. You are going to have to get a helicopter. So that's the story. That's the story. So even knowing I was that close, I turned back. And the way I am, if I get that close and turn back, there's got to be a reason. Okay, so I'm going to end this and I'll throw in a couple of pictures and videos.